However, after its body collapsed, it did not dissipate. Instead, it transformed into countless drifting mist particles, which began to twist and even showed signs of recondensation. Wang Lin's eyes flickered slightly. He stepped forward and moved to the location where the mist was gathering. The thunderous power of his primordial spirit condensed at the tip of his finger. In an instant, a thunder orb formed and, with a flick of Wang Lin's fingers, it erupted into a mighty thunder power, surging wildly into the gathered mist. Boom, 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 a series of thunderous roars echoed. The mist immediately collapsed, turning into more wisps of smoke like threads. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. With a hand gesture, he pointed forward, and a great wave of thunder cascaded from his hand. Amidst the intensified booming, all the remaining mist was utterly destroyed. At this moment, the remaining mist beasts in the sky, amid sharp, piercing shrieks, began charging towards the surrounding crowd. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as his body flickered, and he took a step forward. He floated mid-air, raised his right hand, and pointed at the sky, slowly saying, "Dao Transformation Yellow Spring." A rumbling sound rolled through the air as a yellow spring descended from the void above, merging with the emptiness, emanating a thick aura of resentment. At this moment, Wang Lin stood atop the yellow spring, as if the master of the yellow spring cycle of reincarnation. Third style, power of the yellow spring. Immediately, an unimaginable pull emanated from the yellow spring, dragging the mist beasts that were charging towards him. As they roared in fury, they were enveloped by the yellow spring's force, involuntarily pulled into it. Not a single mist beast, but almost all of them, one by one, their bodies collapsed into mist. They seemed to struggle to escape, but were unable to resist the pulling force, constantly being drawn into the yellow spring. Celestial being, no. At this moment, the ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan, standing not far away, showed a look of anxiety and loudly stopped him. Wang Lin's gaze narrowed. The instant the elder's words left his mouth, he immediately sensed that the mist entering the yellow spring was not being refined. Instead, it began to condense and fuse together, forming a humanoid shape. This humanoid form had only a faint outline, with swirling mist inside that was impossible to see clearly. However, its appearance seemed to indicate that the yellow spring's power had lost its effect. With a single step, it directly emerged from the yellow spring. Upon its appearance, its face was blurry, and only its right eye was visible among its features. The ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan swiftly descended from the air, followed by the other clan members. Upon seeing the humanoid creature's single right eye, the elder let out a sigh of relief and shouted at Wang Lin, "Celestial being, please retreat. We must activate the immortal formation. This being is a humanoid mist beast, and any spell that lands on it will not harm it unless it kills it immediately. Otherwise, it will be immune to the next attack." Wang Lin's gaze flashed, and he quickly retreated. However, the moment he moved, the humanoid mist beast with only a right eye immediately followed and charged at him. A cold light flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. His thunderous power condensed, and in the blink of an eye, dozens of thunder orbs, each the size of a fist, manifested around him. With a single gesture, they rocketed toward the approaching humanoid form. However, just as the thunder orbs neared, Wang Lin, while retreating, shouted in a low voice, "Condense." Immediately, the thunder orbs merged into one, crashing directly into the humanoid form. With a loud explosion, the creature was shattered. But in the next instant, it immediately reformed, as if unscathed, and charged toward Wang Lin once more. Not only that, but the creature now exuded its own thunder power. As it pursued Wang Lin, the thunder radiating from its body mirrored Wang Lin's divine abilities almost identically. The lightning accelerated its movement, and the humanoid mist beast surged forward with lightning speed, almost instantaneously closing the distance to Wang Lin. A killing intent flickered in Wang Lin's eyes. With a tap on his storage pouch, the immortal sword appeared in his hand. Gripping it tightly, Wang Lin slashed forward with a powerful strike. The severing Luo art immediately manifested, and with that strike, the charging humanoid mist beast halted. A flicker of shock appeared in its cold eyes, and it attempted to retreat, but it was too late. Without a sound, the humanoid mist beast's body split in two, releasing a large amount of mist. A mournful cry emanated from within. Wang Lin stepped forward, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared beside the dissipating mist, casting the severing Luo art again. One after another, the severing Luo arts were unleashed, causing the mist to shatter continuously. However, after a brief moment, the mist seemed to begin resisting the severing Luo art, with the collapse slowing down and even showing signs of regathering. Wang Lin's gaze flashed. He pointed forward with his right hand and called out, "Bind." The immortal art of binding immediately spread out, freezing the mist that had begun to condense. Just then, the beast bone pattern on the back of his hand stirred, and it transformed, ready to strike once again. As the massive beast bone appeared, a flicker of dark light shone from its eyes, instantly enveloping the area in a thick, murderous aura. The mist visible to the naked eye immediately emitted a grayish light and began to petrify. A cold glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. With a swift flick of his fingers onto the petrifying mist, his primordial energy surged wildly. With a loud bang, the petrified mist shattered completely into countless fragments. As those fragments scattered, they crumbled again, dissolving entirely. This scene left the members of the chosen immortal clan surrounding him wide-eyed, staring blankly at Wang Lin. They were witnessing for the first time how an entity that usually could only be killed by formations was destroyed by a single person in such a short time. What shocked them even more was that the humanoid mistbeast seemed to have no power to resist. It fell back step by step before ultimately perishing. Meanwhile, the large man, Pagoda Mountain, who had been crushed into the ground by Wang Lin's fragment seal, struggled to rise. He stared at Wang Lin, who stood in midair, completely stunned. Is this what a celestial being is like? Wang Lin's display of divine abilities surpassed the imagination of everyone in the area, even leaving the ancestral elder gaping in shock as he murmured, "The path of the mother and son is withered." Wang Lin withdrew his gaze from where the humanoid mistbeast had vanished and turned to the ancestral elder, calmly stating, "Now, take me to the profound cauldron." The elder took a deep breath, a look of increased reverence across his face, and quickly bowed, saying, "Celestial being, please." With that, he soared into the air, leading the way toward the cluster of buildings. Wang Lin remained as calm and unhurried as ever as he followed. This time, the members of the chosen immortal clan did not attempt to stop them. Pagoda Mountain's eyes glimmered with determination as he stood up, took a deep breath, and leaped after them. "Pagoda Mountain, are you still insisting on following? Don't be foolish. The celestial being has already shown mercy." The elder leading the group turned around and shouted angrily. Indeed, Wang Lin had shown mercy, as he was still unfamiliar with many things in this place. Killing someone could have lingering effects. Otherwise, Pagoda Mountain would undoubtedly have met his end. Ancestral Elder, Pagoda Mountain understands his mistake. I only wish to follow you into the profound cauldron. After all, I'm quite familiar with that place. Pagoda Mountain said in a deep voice. The elder frowned, about to reprimand him, when Wang Lin calmly interjected, "Let him come. Lead the way." The elder bowed slightly, no longer paying attention to Pagoda Mountain, and flew ahead. The three of them did not move quickly, and after a brief period, Wang Lin spotted an altar in an open space behind the cluster of buildings. The altar was not large, surrounded by numerous cracks, and beneath it, there was a grand door, entirely purple, with a rune mark that flickered sporadically. The elder landed before the door, bit his fingertip, and with blood, traced the same rune as that on the door. The rune flashed red and immediately merged into the door. With a series of rumbling sounds, the door gradually rose, revealing a pitch-black entrance. A cold, sinister breeze seeped from within, chilling to the bone. Those with insufficient cultivation could easily suffer hidden injuries from this malevolent energy. The elder stepped aside respectfully and said, "Celestial being, this is where the profound cauldron is located." Wang Lin swept his divine sense over the entrance. Inside the chilling atmosphere, he detected a deeply hidden immortal chi. "Go in," Wang Lin said calmly. The elder nodded and approached the entrance. Pagoda Mountain hesitated for a moment, but determination flashed in his eyes. He quickly stepped forward, blocking the elder's path. The elder frowned and shouted, "Pagoda Mountain, what are you up to?" Pagoda Mountain looked at Wang Lin and said in a deep voice, "Celestial being, the cold here is too intense. The elder is old and should not enter. Is it acceptable for Pagoda Mountain to guide you?" The elder was taken aback, replying, "Though the cold is overwhelming, I can still withstand it." Pagoda Mountain turned to Wang Lin and said, "Celestial being, Pagoda Mountain is the altar guardian of this generation, qualified to lead you in." Wang Lin's gaze remained calm as he looked at Pagoda Mountain, as if penetrating his very soul, revealing Pagoda Mountain's inner thoughts. Under this gaze, Pagoda Mountain maintained his stare, showing no signs of flinching. "All right." Wang Lin finally looked away and said evenly. Pagoda Mountain ceased speaking and turned to enter the passage. A cold smile appeared at the corners of Wang Lin's mouth as he slowly followed. The elder furrowed his brows, having gleaned Pagoda Mountain's intentions, sighed heavily, and sat cross-legged on the ground instead of following. Inside the entrance lay several layers of stairs. As they descended, the cold atmosphere intensified. After a brief period, guided by Pagoda Mountain, the two of them reached the bottom of the space. As soon as they stepped onto the bottom, Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. At the base of the entrance was another world, an area about 100 feet wide. In the center, there stood a colossal cauldron 10 feet in size, its surface covered in countless rune marks. Around the great cauldron, there were 9 skulls. These were not the skulls of beasts, but human skulls. Each skull had a complex rune mark in the center of the forehead. A dark light flickered on the 9 skulls, resembling a formation. "This is the profound cauldron," Tower Mountain said, gazing at the great cauldron with a complicated expression and speaking softly. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. His divine sense followed his sight, circling the great cauldron. After a moment of hesitation, he suddenly surged inside. There was no obstruction, and his divine sense penetrated into the cauldron. However, the instant his divine sense entered, a sharp, shrill female scream suddenly erupted from within the cauldron. The sound was extremely strange, inaudible to the ears but detectable only through divine sense. It contained a murderous aura, like a storm that nearly shattered Wang Lin's divine sense. Wang Lin staggered, taking a few steps back. His face was slightly pale, but his eyes flashed with a sharp light. "I will stay here for a few days. You go outside first," Wang Lin said, staring at the great cauldron. Tower Mountain fell silent. After a moment, he lifted his head to look at Wang Lin, hesitated for a moment, and then asked, Are you really an immortal?" Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and turned to look at Tower Mountain. When the other had asked him to lead the way earlier, he had already guessed that this person likely had some doubts and wanted to ask him privately. Wang Lin silently stared at Tower Mountain without speaking. Tower Mountain's face was filled with bitterness as he spoke softly. "When I was a child, I often heard the elders say that we are the chosen immortal clan, a clan chosen and favored by the immortals, and that our lives are to be offered to the immortals. This was the honor of our clan. This honor grew with me. It was the only belief in my heart, and not only for me, but for almost all of my people. But as I grew, I gradually discovered that it didn't seem to be true. No one has ever seen an immortal, except for that heavenly decree in the ancestral hall. Every so often, the profound cauldron we guard emits mist. This mist takes on various forms, slaughtering our people. Time after time, I've witnessed the deaths of our clan members. While I feel grief and anger, I began to doubt whether immortals even exist. To this day, I, Tower Mountain, do not believe immortals exist. If they truly do, why have they forgotten us all these years?" Wang Lin fell silent. When he had first heard the elder refer to the chosen immortal clan, something had stirred within him, and he vaguely pieced together some details. Chosen immortal clan. Immortal remnant clan. Chosen, abandoned. Please tell me, does the world really have immortals? Are you an immortal? Tower Mountain lifted his head, looking at Wang Lin. His voice was low, but it contained a forceful impact, even stronger than a shout. "I am not an immortal." Wang Lin replied calmly, speaking slowly. Tower Mountain's body trembled, and his face grew even more bitter. "Immortals, perhaps they still exist, but the immortal realm collapsed long ago. It no longer exists." Wang Lin's gaze fell upon the profound cauldron. Tower Mountain gave a bitter smile and staggered back a few steps. He muttered, "So it's true. I wasn't wrong. Immortals, there are no immortals. All these years, my clan has guarded this place, but we were wrong." "What is inside this cauldron?" Wang Lin asked, still focused on the profound cauldron. "I don't know. According to the records in our clan's ancient texts, the carefree immortal king led our clan into this netherworld beast body, and we've guarded this profound cauldron for generations, until he returns," Tower Mountain murmured. "How can we leave this place?" Wang Lin's gaze shifted from the cauldron. "We cannot leave. This place is completely sealed. I once tried to find a way out, to search for immortals, but failed every time. The sky has an end, but we cannot pass through it. Beyond the cracks of the flesh wall is an endless void." Tower Mountain sighed deeply and forced a bitter smile. "What did the heavenly decree say?" Wang Lin's eyes narrowed as he asked. "We can't see it. No one can see what's inside. Even our countless ancestors who have passed away couldn't discern its contents." Tower Mountain gradually recovered from the shock. Wang Lin frowned, pondering for a moment. He took a few steps forward and stood beside the profound cauldron. Lifting his right hand, he pressed it onto the cauldron's surface, and his divine sense once again spread out, merging with the cauldron. Almost immediately, the piercing scream, which could penetrate divine sense, erupted once more. This time, it was even stronger than before, reverberating violently through Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin activated his primordial energy, protecting his divine soul as he fought back against the shrill sound. The intensity of the sound grew stronger, and eventually, its penetrating force reached its peak. The howling made Wang Lin's face turn pale as he withdrew his hand and staggered back. Each step he took caused the ground to tremble, leaving a deep footprint. He stepped back 7 paces, and only then did his face show a slight recovery. With a cold grunt, his body lunged forward, rising into the air. Looking down at the massive cauldron below, he saw that its mouth was filled with a pitch-black mist, swirling ominously and emitting a chilling aura. His gaze flickered as Wang Lin raised his right hand. In an instant, his thunder might surged, condensing into a thunder orb in his hand. He threw it directly into the cauldron's mouth. Thunder roared, crackling with the sound of a violent storm, as the orb struck the cauldron. However, just as it hit, the black mist inside the cauldron immediately converged, as if it were devouring the orb, swallowing it whole. Explode! Wang Lin muttered under his breath. A deep, muffled rumble echoed through the air. As the thunder orb shattered, the surrounding black mist was instantly pushed outward. In that fleeting moment, Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with sharp light, as if he could pierce through the black mist, seeing straight to the bottom. There, he noticed a teleportation array. The black mist surged in waves, enveloping the array, hiding it from view. The mist thickened, rapidly coalescing into a humanoid form, a woman, made entirely of fog, her features impossible to discern. As soon as she appeared, she rushed forward, black mist trailing behind her. With a shrill scream, she lunged, and this time, the scream wasn't just aimed at the soul, but also at the physical body. The shriek was so powerful it nearly created a sonic boom, like a tangible force, directly slamming toward Wang Lin. Though Pagoda Mountain was not far, it was also affected. Towering in shock, its figure instinctively recoiled, its eyes dimming. Without the mutated Thunder Soul, it suffered a blow to its own soul. Without hesitation, Wang Lin quickly retreated, but he was still struck by the scream. His face turned pale, blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. Grabbing onto Pagoda Mountain, he flew toward the exit. The misty figure of the woman from the cauldron gave chase, moving with such speed that she nearly caught up at the staircase exit. The shriek rang out again, and Wang Lin's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He spun around, unleashing a burst of spirit essence, which transformed into a massive blood mist, rushing toward the woman's ethereal form. Seal! Wang Lin commanded sharply. The blood mist shimmered and immediately morphed into sealing runes, sticking to the woman's form as she neared, trapping her in a vast array of seals. At the same time, Wang Lin's eyes gleamed coldly, and with a flick of his right hand, the Karma Kunji whip manifested, striking fiercely. A pained grunt echoed from the woman's ethereal form as she staggered back a few steps, but she quickly charged again. Her body scattered into 9 streams of black mist, like arrows, chasing after Wang Lin. Wang Lin furrowed his brow, retreating once more, this time to the exit's large door. Throwing the Pagoda Mountain behind him, he focused on his brow, activating the third eye divine ability. A red glow flashed, surrounding the exit. Under the red light, the pursuing black mist dispersed in an instant, quickly regrouping into a single mass. It ignored the third eye's divine power and surged directly toward the exit. Outside, the elder had already noticed the black mist. His face drained of color, and without waiting for Wang Lin's orders, he immediately formed hand seals. The brow plan on his forehead flickered, forming runes that he pressed onto the massive door. With a thunderous rumble, the door began to close, but the woman's shrill scream echoed from within the black mist. The elder trembled, spitting out blood, and his body immediately weakened. As the door closed, the woman appeared ready to break through. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened, and he slapped his storage pouch. As the pouch glowed, several skulls appeared before him, bones he had acquired from the Immortal Remnant clan when he had left Vermilion Birdstar. Each skull was adorned with a complex rune. After inspecting them for a moment, Wang Lin waved his hand, storing them away again. His eyes flashed as he looked up at the sky. The sky was a clear blue, but with Wang Lin's piercing gaze, he could just make out, at the very edge of the clouds, the looming presence of a flesh wall. If this place is truly sealed off, how is it that I was able to teleport here? This is no safe place. I must find a way to leave as soon as possible. However, although this place is dangerous, it is also the best hiding spot. Wang Lin muttered, slapping his storage pouch. Immediately, an object flew out from within. This object was about 15 zhang long and more than 4 zhang wide. As soon as it appeared, a powerful aura of pressure filled the air. It was covered in countless sharp spikes, exuding a menacing aura that, when seen, made one's mind waver and fear rise involuntarily. The third, Divine Chariot. The Divine Chariot in front of Wang Lin emitted an overwhelming aura of pressure. The spikes on it gleamed with a cold light, their vicious appearance making anyone who gazed upon it feel a sense of dread. When Wang Lin had first encountered this object, he had nearly collapsed in fear, unable to use it, and could only seal it away using the inheritance method. But now, standing beside the Divine Chariot, Wang Lin remained calm and unshaken, his gaze sharp. Over the course of hundreds of years, Wang Lin had unknowingly grown stronger. Closing his eyes for a moment, Wang Lin opened them again, a flash of brilliance crossing his eyes. He formed hand seals, muttering a series of complex and cryptic incantations. With the seals, his left hand pressed against his right wrist. A flash of black light appeared, concentrating in Wang Lin's right hand, which he then pressed forward toward the Divine Chariot. The black light flickered as it struck the Divine Chariot, merging with it as though the chariot had absorbed it. In an instant, an even more powerful aura of pressure erupted from the chariot. All the spikes on it glimmered with black light, linking together and spreading, creating an overwhelming field of darkness that seemed to envelop the entire world beneath its glow. Under Wang Lin's gaze, these black lights converged and transformed, forming 7 black symbols that flickered in and out of sight within the dark glow. Staring at the 7 symbols within the black light, the words from the immortal slip left by the Divine Chariot's creator echoed in Wang Lin's mind. This is the third Divine Chariot. Its power exceeds what was originally expected. If this object unleashes its full strength, it can kill even immortals and gods with ease. But it is not complete. It is missing 3 materials: mystic wings, netherwood, and the soul of the immortal butterfly. The regret is that these 3 materials were never obtained. I hope future inheritors will find them and fulfill my wish. To claim the third Divine Chariot as your own, you must fuse it with the 7 sealing symbols, refining it into a life-bound treasure in order to unlock its true power. Otherwise, even if the symbols are merged, without proper ritual, its power will remain dormant. Future inheritors, proceed with caution. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. When he had first read these words, he had not given them much thought. To him, a magical artifact that required such caution was a dangerous and vital choice, especially one that would bind with his life. Ordinary artifacts, even with a divine imprint, could only cause injury at worst if destroyed, perhaps severe, but never fatal. Even those bound to the primordial spirit for nourishment could survive their destruction, though the impact would be greater. For instance, the 100 Zhang fragments, or the swords from his past, were all like this. But once bound to one's life, if the artifact were damaged or destroyed, it could lead to severe injury or even the shattering of the soul. Yet, despite the risks, many cultivators still chose to refine life-bound treasures. The power of a life-bound treasure could increase exponentially, even growing alongside the cultivator's own advancement. Wang Lin had once read of a cultivator from ancient times whose life-bound treasure had been an ordinary flying sword. But as the cultivator's strength grew, the sword had evolved into a terrifying weapon. This third Divine Chariot is different from the previous 2. In silence, Wang Lin fixed his gaze on the 7 symbols in the black light. He slapped his storage pouch once again, and the mosquito beast immediately flew out. The beast had clearly not been summoned in a long time. As it appeared, it stirred up a whirlwind, its high-pitched screech echoing as it circled around excitedly. Behind the mosquito beast came the thunder frog. The thunder frog materialized from the storage pouch and landed on the ground, lazily staring around with a bored expression, unwilling to move. After releasing the 2 beasts, Wang Lin pondered for a moment before pulling out the immortal sword. He flicked his finger against the sword, causing Su Ligua to appear. The moment he appeared, his face was full of flattery, ready to speak, but stopped immediately when Wang Lin's cold gaze fell upon him. I am refining a magical artifact. No one within 100 zhang radius should approach, Wang Lin said calmly. Su Ligua quickly nodded, thumping his chest and replying loyally, Master, don't worry. If anyone comes, they'll have to step over my dead body first. I, Su Ligua, live and fight for loyalty. No one in this world can surpass my loyalty. Seeing Wang Lin frown, Su Ligua quickly silenced himself, flattering as he stepped back to guard at the 100-foot mark. Stealing a glance at Wang Lin, he made sure the other wasn't paying attention to him. Deep down, he thought, it seems I've been a bit careless lately. I haven't been flattering him enough. Honestly, it feels unnatural. Otherwise, this fierce star wouldn't be getting impatient after just a few words from me. In the future, I must work hard on this skill. After all, it's my greatest ability. I can't let it go to waste. Even if I have to flee one day, this talent might still come in handy. Resolute in his decision, Xun'er wandered within the 100-foot radius while muttering some inaudible whispers, which, if heard from very close, could be vaguely discerned. Master's abilities are astonishing, akin to a true immortal. Little Su admires you endlessly. Wow, Master's techniques are groundbreaking. I'm in awe. Oh, what is this? This is actually the might of Master's magical artifact. Master, you are the strongest cultivator I've ever seen, and being by your side is the best decision of my life. As Xun'er whispered, his expression brightened, and his speech became increasingly fluent. A mosquito beast flitted by him, overhearing bits and pieces of his murmurs but, with its limited intellect, couldn't fully grasp their meaning, piquing its curiosity. It occasionally flew closer, hoping to catch a few more words. After releasing the mosquito beast, Thunder Frog, and Xun'er, Wang formed hand seals with both hands, setting up several restrictions around them before relaxing. He fixed his gaze on the divine chariot ahead, pressing a fingertip to his brow. Instantly, a light flashed from his forehead, and Wang's essence spirit left his physical body. Once out, his essence spirit transformed into a primordial thunder dragon, speeding toward the divine chariot. As he approached, his spirit spiraled around the dark radiance, and after a moment, he opened his mouth and swallowed one of the 7 runes. Immediately, a wild power erupted within Wang's essence spirit. The black rune twisted and resisted fiercely, yet Wang's spirit power surged, applying intense pressure on it. However, the fragment was extraordinarily resilient. Instead of collapsing under the pressure, it erupted with even stronger resistance. Had this been during Wang's earlier trials, his essence spirit would have been unable to withstand the rune's defiance or might even have been drawn into a draining battle within the whirlpool. But at this moment, Wang snorted coldly, and within his spirit, a loud banging resonated. With every sound, the thunder might within his essence spirit doubled, rapidly transforming into a formidable force that slammed against the swallowed rune. With a thunderous boom, the persistently resisting rune shattered, and at that instant, an even stronger thunder might surged forth, continuously bombarding the crumbling rune fragments. The roaring echoed within Wang's essence spirit as, after several moments, the rune completely dissipated, merging into a peculiar power within him. It took less than half a stick of incense for Wang to absorb the first rune, and now, his spirit's eyes were tranquil as he shot toward the second rune, swallowing it whole. This second rune was significantly stronger than the first one, yet Wang's spirit, with its might, completely refined it, although this process took an entire stick of incense. Not pausing, with a flash of his gaze, he directly consumed and refined the third rune alongside the second one. An hour later, for rune's strange powers had already manifested within Wang's essence spirit. As the fifth rune approached, Wang's primordial thunder dragon opened its mouth and swallowed it. Upon entering his essence spirit, this rune instantly transformed into a violent surge of power that spilled over the spirit. A cold glimmer flickered in Wang's eyes. His spirit coiled, thunderous power coursing through him, morphing into lightning strikes aimed directly at the rune. Within his essence spirit, bolts of lightning roared, slamming into the rune. After 2 continuous hours of bombardment, the rune finally crumbled, transforming into an extraordinary power that instantly fused into Wang's spirit. At this moment, Wang's essence spirit dimmed slightly. With a flicker, he withdrew back through the brow of his physical body, assuming a meditative posture to recuperate. As time passed, 5 days sped by. During these 5 days, Wang remained motionless, his spirit gradually recovering through focused meditation. In this time, the chosen immortal clan's Pagoda Mountain and their ancestral elder visited this place twice, along with a throng of clan members. The piercing cries of the mosquito beast, the full-body lightning of the thunder frog, and Xun'er's menacing demeanor kept them from stepping within 100 feet, lingering outside instead. Xun'er, in particular, watched those members of the chosen immortal clan with a lick of his lips, reminded of the joyful memories from his time on Azure Spirit Star. Unable to resist the surge of emotions, he acted on impulse. While Wang was sitting cross-legged and practicing his breathing techniques, at the edge of 100 zhang, he tried to bring a few people inside. However, None of the members of the chosen immortal clan paid him any attention. One by one, they were all stunned when their gazes fell upon the divine chariot. There were murmurs exchanged among them, but even the most widely experienced of the ancestral elders had no idea what it was. However, the pressure emanating from the divine chariot caused their hearts and minds to tremble. On this day, Wang Lin opened his eyes. His right hand touched his brow, and his primordial spirit immediately flew out again, heading straight for the divine chariot. As soon as his primordial spirit appeared, a shout was heard from 100 zhang away. The ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan gazed at Wang Lin's primordial spirit, his eyes showing a complicated expression. He sighed inwardly, then took a few steps forward and cupped his fists, saying, "You dash. Up there, the lowly commoners have a matter to inquire." Wang Lin did not look at the elder. With the body of the thunder dragon, over several zhang in length, he charged towards the divine chariot. Without hesitation, he focused on the 6th rune and swallowed it. This time, without any thought, Wang Lin also swallowed the 7th rune in one go. This scene caused the people 100 zhang away to freeze. Their eyes locked onto Wang Lin. At this moment, Su Ligu's eyes flickered, and he immediately flew up. Pointing at the members of the chosen immortal clan, he shouted, "My master is refining treasures here. Unless you step over my corpse, none of you are allowed to take a single step inside." His words were powerful and firm, especially with the expression on Su Ligu's face, radiating a forceful aura of, "I will die before allowing anyone to disturb my master." This aura was so intense that it felt like a storm sweeping through. The ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan quickly retreated a few steps, respectfully saying, "We do not intend to enter within 100 zhang. We only wish to inquire about something." Before the elder could finish, Su Ligu shouted fiercely, "Shut up. Unless you step over my corpse, none of you will disturb my master. My life was given by my master. It was my master who saved me from the depths of despair. It was my master who taught me divine abilities. It was my master who provided me with the chance of inheritance. And it was my master who granted me my current cultivation. If you seek to disturb my master, I, Su Ligu, will never agree." Su Ligu said this with great emotion, his eyes full of a ready-to-die expression. It was as if no matter how powerful the existence before him, he would not hesitate to sacrifice his life if it meant protecting his master. He was a man of unyielding loyalty. The ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan trembled. The words fell into his ears, and they resonated deeply. Their entire clan, in reality, was nothing more than servants to the immortals. This man understands the meaning of loyalty, and the chosen immortal clan understands too. The elder looked at Su Ligu with respect, silently thinking, "I never expected this spirit body to be such a loyal person. His loyalty is something that heaven itself can bear witness to. The immortal who has such a servant is truly fortunate." Standing beside the elder, Tom Mountain stared at Su Ligu, his heart filled with complex emotions. "It's not that our clan is disloyal, it's just that those who swear loyalty have abandoned us. Compared to this spirit body has a person to whom he can remain loyal." Su Ligu's display of devotion was vivid, but it was completely ignored by Wang Lin. At this moment, Wang Lin's primordial spirit radiated thunder might, continuously pounding on the 2 runes inside his body, undergoing the final stage of refinement. The sound of thunder rumbled within his primordial spirit. One of the runes began to collapse under the thunder might, a slow process that did not happen all at once but continued on. During this process, the divine chariot below Wang Lin's primordial spirit glowed with dark radiance, almost blinding, as though it could devour light itself. Under the contrast of this dark radiance, Wang Lin's primordial spirit appeared even more striking, capable of mesmerizing anyone who gazed upon it. This sight caused the members of the chosen immortal clan, 100 zhang away, to feel their hearts shake and their minds in turmoil. Amidst the righteous display of Su Ligu, he took the opportunity when no one was looking, glanced sideways, and quickly stole a look at Wang Lin. Inwardly, he thought, "What's so great about this? Your Uncle Su can do this too. It's just swallowing a rune. I've swallowed people before." Su Ligu sneered, yet his eyes revealed admiration, his body trembling in awe. To anyone observing his appearance, he was the perfect image of a loyal servant, stirred by his master's divine powers. Tom Mountain saw Su Ligu's expression and sighed inwardly again, his emotions more complicated than ever. As for the ancestral elder of the chosen immortal clan, he also nodded inwardly, further convinced that this spirit body, Su Ligu, was a loyal servant worthy of respect. In reality, the members of the chosen immortal clan had lived here for far too long, without interacting with the outside world. Although they were not fools, they could never compare to Su Ligua. Su Ligua had lived a life full of scheming and change. After nearly 1,000 years of experiences, he had practically become a master of this craft. If someone easily saw through him, then that wouldn't be Su Ligua. Time passed slowly, and after several hours, Wang Lin's divine soul suddenly stirred. The thunderous sounds within him surged, and just as they peaked, they abruptly ceased. Wang Lin's divine soul flashed with brilliance. The last 2 runes within him were completely refined and absorbed. Before him lay an important choice. Should I use a life-found treasure that connects to my life? After a moment of silence, 7 distinct powers within his divine soul merged to form a unique insignia that emerged on his chest. In that instant, the black radiance of the divine chariot concentrated and shot directly onto Wang Lin's chest. Divine chariot, unseal. His consciousness sent forth a command, transforming into a thunderous roar. The black light of the divine chariot seemed to flow entirely into Wang Lin's body. But in the next breath, countless barbed spikes atop the chariot shimmered once more, and this time, a phantom figure rapidly materialized on the chariot. It was a soul beast, towering about 100 feet tall like a giant creature. Upon its appearance, it immediately roared towards the sky. At this roar, the members of the chosen immortal clan nearby turned pale, as brow plants manifested, and they staggered backward. Only a few with considerable cultivation were able to stand their ground, yet they trembled and could not hold on for long before they too involuntarily retreated. The mosquito beasts were on edge, their spines standing erect, fixated on the soul beast, letting out low growls. The thunder frog also swelled its belly, continuously rumbling as it brewed its most powerful divine ability. Only Su Ligua, despite being shaken by the roar, struggled to shout, "Unless you step over my dead body, otherwise." However, before he could finish, the massive soul beast lowered its gaze, locking its eyes onto him. Su Ligua was instantly terrified, swallowing the remainder of his sentence. "Your grandpa Su has the legacy of ancient sword intent. Once I've absorbed everything, then I won't fear you." He cursed internally, yet he retreated quickly, distancing himself in no time. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he focused on the soul beast. With a movement of his divine soul, he returned to his physical body, which almost instantaneously leaped into the air. As the soul beast roared, it turned its attention away from Su Ligua, fixating on Wang Lin, charging toward him at incredible speed. It appeared before Wang Lin in a flash, preparing to swallow him whole. Wang Lin remained composed, not stepping back. At the moment the soul beast approached, he calmly uttered, "Collapse." With a thunderous crash, the soul beast disintegrated into countless shards that scattered across the sky. However, in the next instant, it regrouped, its crimson eyes filled with endless hatred as it roared again and charged at Wang Lin. "Collapse." Wang Lin spoke calmly once more. This time, as the soul beast lunged forward, it erupted again, shattering into pieces. "Refining the 7 runes, if it connects to my life, I can control it. But if I do not choose to bond my life with it as a life-bound treasure, then these 7 runes can be transformed into 7 collapse mantras, allowing me 7 chances to make the guardian soul beast of the divine chariot collapse and submit. If, after 7 tries, the soul beast does not surrender, I must bond my life with it. Otherwise, I cannot wield this treasure." Wang Lin recalled the words from the immortal slip. After 2 collapses, the soul beast's murderous gaze intensified, its roars grew more frenzied, and as it reformed, it charged again, this time splitting into countless forms that encircled Wang Lin from all directions. Wang Lin furrowed his brow slightly. He was ruthless, with 1,000 years of experience that shaped his unique style. Clearly, the soul beast's continued resistance indicated that it had not felt enough pain. A cold gleam flashed in Wang Lin's eyes as he said calmly, "Collapse. Collapse. Collapse." The 3 utterances of collapse caused the soul beast rushing from all directions to immediately shatter once more, scattering into countless fragments as it retreated. Soon, another thunderous sound echoed as the second collapse began. A pained groan emerged amid the collapse, and just then, a 3rd collapse occurred, thrusting the soul beast into unimaginable pain. Without the continuous collapses, it might have endured, but the relentless 3 strikes instilled a fear deep within it. In that moment of fear, as it reformed in hesitation, Wang Lin's cold gleam deepened, and he said flatly, "Collapse." With a forceful boom, the freshly reformed soul beast shattered once again. The imprint of fear solidified within this collapse, breeding madness until it utterly consumed the soul beast's mind and body. As it once again reformed, its eyes radiated profound reverence. It no longer dared to resist and lowered its head in submission. Wang Lin's body swayed, and he stepped directly into the air, appearing on top of the soul beast in an instant. He bit his finger, drew a special mark to activate the divine chariot, and pressed it onto the soul beast's head. The soul beast shuddered, rapidly shrinking. Wang Lin leaped into the air, and as he looked down, he saw the soul beast compressing into a mist. After a moment, the mist had condensed into a cocoon-like shape, no larger than a fist, emitting a brilliant glow, quickly solidifying. A series of cracking sounds echoed as a fissure appeared on the cocoon. More cracks followed, until it finally shattered, and a dazzling, multicolored butterfly fluttered its wings gently, releasing a cloud of multicolored powder as it flew out of the cocoon. The beauty of the butterfly made Wang Lin's gaze fixate. At that moment, the teleportation array within the profound ink cauldron on the altar below flickered, and a figure stepped out from within. The figure swayed and rushed toward the large door. As it reached the door, it passed through it, emerging on the other side. It was a man, dressed in an azure robe, his eyes cold as ice. "You lowly commoners of this realm, what are you doing?"